Theruvan Saranai Sielu Denatama. Good evening, children. Blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha to you all. Permit me, our most venerable Dr. Sir Sumanasiri Hamdruo. It's a great honor for us to have his presence again in this evening to be with you on this Dhamma school program. So he's a very learned, very well experienced senior Buddhist monk who has traveled over 65 countries, been a Buddhist monk for many years. No need to say how long. He's a great senior monk who has over 50 years of experience being a very senior Buddhist monk. He is well versed in over 16 languages, especially the Sanskrit, Pali, Sinhala, and many of the Oriental languages. So he is going to give a special talk today on can we transfer the merits to our departed relatives or friends. On that subject he will talk. But today we all meet to commemorate the Nikini full moon day. So the children will be giving a presentation on Nikini full moon day. So as a form of welcome, our most venerable Dr. Sir Siri Sumanasiri Hamdruo, please bring your palms together and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Please sit properly and make yourself very calm. And when you are keeping your body in a comfortable, calm position, you can concentrate very well. So don't lose a word that our senior monk is going to talk to you. It's a very important talk, and just keep your attention full focus onto every single word that you are going to take away from this very special program. Let us first observe the precepts together with everyone to save our time. Please say out loud so that you can hear your environment in your household. Keep the mics muted so that it will not get disturbed. So let us observe the precepts to start our children program. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyaṃ-pi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyaṃ-pi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Pānāti pātā vēramaṇī sikkhapada samadhiyāmi. Adinādāna vēramaṇī mani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kāmesu miccācārā vēremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musāvādā vēremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā vēremani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us sit in 1 minute meditation to bring us together, our hearts and minds together before we start our program. Just sit a comfortable position. Try to keep the body upright. Make every part of the body relax. Gently keep the eyes closed and make your body still, very, very calm. Make yourself happy and then take a very gentle breath slowly in and slowly breathe out to relax the body. Once again, take a very gentle breath slowly in and slowly breathe out, relaxing the body. Breathe slowly in, breathe slowly out, relaxing the body. Determined to make the most of this evening Dhamma school program with the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, bring your palms jointly together close to your heart and slowly open the eyes and then say 3 times Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. We are very happy to see over 21 families already been joined. It's a great success of similar kind of online Dhamma school program. Our children are doing extremely good, and we are also lucky to have a very erudite, eminent Buddhist monk here with us to share some experience and also the teachings of our Lord Buddha. So may I kindly and very respectfully invite our Venerable Dr. Sir Sumanasiri to reflect on the transference of merits for departed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Reverend Samitha. Sisters and brothers, young adults and seniors. I'm delighted today to touch on a topic which is a very common practice in the Buddhist system, particularly in Theravada Buddhist countries and in countries outside them where Theravada Buddhists live. I'm not necessarily a Theravada monk, I'm just a Buddhist monk. So I understand Buddhism in its origin form as taught by the Buddha. That is my interest. Now in that I'll be quoting for you certain stanzas given by the Buddha with the English translation and explanation. Today, we went for an alms giving. As you know, giving dana to the monks, nuns, this creates a lot of merits for all of you. That means good actions. You reduce your greed, you share and give, and what you get, then you can transfer to your departed ones. Like say for instance, today we were in that action in a house where the departed one is a father, a very famous Sri Lankan film actor who passed away 3 months ago, Tissa Vijay Surendra. And in that house they did the alms giving this morning, and we went there, and with the daughters and the grandchildren and relatives and friends here, we could do that transference of merits because of this action. So it is important living here in the United Kingdom for those young ones and adults to understand, can we really transfer merits? So I'm going to make an explanation to all of you to express how the Buddha looked at this situation. Transference of merits is considered one of the 10 meritorious actions you can do. Of course, one is dana and so on. And transferring of merits to your departed ones is also considered as one of the very important kusala kamma, that means good actions. The other day I spoke to you how to share merits with the devas. That is also considered a very good thing. You don't transfer merits to devas, you share merits with them because they are living. Only to the dead when you transfer, you call it transference of merits. So you need to draw the line and make it clear. Ditthing ujong karoti, the Buddha says, by helping others to straighten their doubts, we share with the living, we transfer to the dead. We share with the devas who are living, and we transfer our merits to those who have been departed, the dead ones. You call them petas in Buddha's language, P-E-T-A-S. The petas can be anybody. There are about 40 types of petas described in all the scriptures very clearly and very beautifully. In the case of the devas, when you share merits with them, they rejoice and they become happy. And that happiness helps you because they start to protect you. They can be your guardian angels because they are like angels in the English idiom. Transference of merits to those unfortunate departed ones or relatives or friends, this is what we generally mean, is to reduce their pain or reduce their suffering conditions to make them better. What a good, kind way of thinking, a very compassionate way. Even to the departed ones, you don't forget, you remember them. In this world, many people have no gratitude. Once they go to the cemetery, they come back and wash their hands. I forgot the whole thing. Remember those who have done good for you, to recollect their sacred memory. And this helps to uplift you. You have done a good action. You didn't forget the past. You didn't forget the good deeds those relatives did to you. Human tendency, we tend to think more the bad people have done to us than the good they do to us or did to us. We must always try to think the positive side and improve that and go and make it a reality to build in and to go up and to be abundant, to enhance with all that goodness. Because only goodness can make you happy, not bad actions that can make you happy. Therefore, transferring of merits to departed ones, first you must have the merits yourself. Like if you don't have money, you cannot give money. If you don't have enough merits, you cannot give merits. So if you don't have enough merits, you perform an action. like offering of alms to the monks and nuns, and also giving in the name of the departed ones. You can give to orphanages, the needy and all. But when you give to the poor, there is a difference. You give out of sympathy. When you give to the noble Arya Sangha, you are thinking of the most noble, incomparable field of merits. You cannot compare. Giving is not all the same to everybody. The higher, the cleaner, the more pure, you get the merits better. This is common understanding and also follows the law of nature. And when you do so and transfer these merits that can be radiated to them like energy, and then it can make many other people happy, like you can radiate metta to animals also. The magic of this transference cannot be simply understood by physical understanding, by material understanding. It has to be an understanding of morality, ethics, and spirituality. So don't try to judge just from a technical point of view, because this is an action dealing with the spiritual, not the material. If you think only by the laws of physics and chemistry and money or commerce, you cannot understand. This dimension is a little bit higher. So it takes you higher to a better stage, not just in this world, but for those in the next world, because you also will be going there one day. So it is part and parcel of our life systems as good people who want to do good and share the good with the dead. You are living, you are more powerful than the dead, and you are able to understand and give them transfer of merits. It's like transferring money or deposit in somebody else's account. How do you send an email? You don't see the things going, but that is how, like in physics, the energy is transferred. You can transfer technology, you can transfer money, you can transfer merits. Good things. One of the famous sutra for this is called the Tiro Kuda Sutta. The Tiro Kuda Sutta, I'm not going to explain all this, but I will tell you a story. After his enlightenment, the Buddha was invited King Bimbisara. Bimbisara was a very powerful king who lived in Rajgir or Rajagaha. Rajagaha also they say. That is where one of the places the Buddha lived. And he was offered a temple which is called Veluvana, Bamboo Grove Temple. The Buddha lived later. But in his first journey, the king invited him to the palace and offered him dana, alms giving, food to the monks, and the nuns were not there yet, only monks at that time. Normally, when you do a good meritorious deed in the Indian culture, you make prayers for the dead also. But in this case, the king forgot that. So what happened? His past dead relatives, they were expecting that the king will transfer merits to him. But these past relatives had a very great unfortunate situation, because at one time they were supposed to do like that in one of their past births, in the time of another Buddha who lived among our 24 Buddhas, the Pussa Buddha, and they forgot and then they missed that. But they were told that one day when Gautama Buddha comes, our Buddha, they will be able to do the merits or gain the merits. But here they tried, the king did not transfer merits. So why the action is important? And action is not a concept or idea or just simply goodwill. You must get involved physically in that. Then only it becomes a physical action. By using your hands, your brains, your body, your speech, it becomes a vocal action also. And from your mind, the energies you get, you transmit. So it's the entire being involved in this. So what happened was the relatives start to make very bad noises in the night. And everybody was wondering who is making all these funny noises, like eerie sounds. They were wailing, they were crying and making all the noise you can hear, like from spirits, a ghost, many ghosts now who have been waiting for years. So they did not get the marriage, so they made all these noises. Very dreadful cries, and also unearthly noises they made until the whole palace was, feeling very eerie like. So the king, he also heard this now. So he said to the Buddha, what shall I do? The Buddha said, make offerings to the noble Arya Sangha. The noble Arya Sangha means those who have been enlightened ones. So that point was the Buddhist monks, because there were no nuns at that time. So he did. He made the offerings, and after that, what we see, the relatives became happy. They got rid of their demerit situation, and they were born in a good place. So this is a meaningful occasion, not just a make-believe or a story just made up for to explain something. This is what you call, like in other religions, praying for the dead. It can be done anytime, not just only when they die. When they are dead and gone, you can redo again and again in order that some of your relatives don't miss it. It's also like in some religions they call thanksgiving to ancestors. In Chinese, Japanese, Buddhist traditions, this is very important to remember the ancestors, your departed ones. Not just the relatives, but far away. Ancestor worship, filial piety or filial piety, respect those who are living, the adults, the seniors, the departed ones also. Such piety is the root of all goodness in Chinese, Japanese, Korean tradition. So if you see a Chinese house where they practice Buddhism, I'm not referring to communist China, you see there is a separate altar for ancestors worship. You go to Japan, mostly Shintoist people who is following Buddhism, but from the Shinto religion, before Buddhism, they were already worshipping their ancestors. So they carry on as a good tradition. So those who are born in lower realms, not enough merits, and who have no merits, maybe only demerits, who want the merits, that will be an action of gratitude when you do to them. To show the gratefulness, to appreciate what they have done for you, to remember them, you become a grateful person. Sometimes they are called hungry ghosts in different situations. There are different types of spirits or ghosts, as I told you. And when you transfer such merits, they become happy. So the sutra Tiro Kuda mentions like this in English: those reborn as unfortunate spirits because of their craving for their houses or property in the past life turn to their homes and create eerie atmosphere while lingering beyond doors. They normally don't stay inside the house, outside. But those ghosts inside the houses are different ones, may not be your relatives. This being the case is very abundant if you see in England, where we stay, houses with a lot of spirits. Even in America, if you know about Engelbert Humperdinck, the great singer, who is now in his 80s, still singing, he also saw an actress in her former house as a spirit. And he says very openly, in a different cultural tradition of England, like in the Palladium, that Jane's smell he could feel, and he could see the figure as well. And in America, most of you may have heard, Abraham Lincoln's spirit ghost is still there for a long time in the White House. So it's not a man-made story. It's a living thing even in America or the United Kingdom. There are many places of existence. Sometimes it is said in tradition as 31. But those who are born in 4 stages, 4 realms, 4 types of places of being born, they are in a very woeful situation. So they may need the merits. So we don't take a chance, but we simply transfer merits, so we don't take the risk that they lose merits, for them to be born in a better world. This is what you call transference of merits. And some people can see them, hear their sounds, get their smells, get the bodily feeling when you go in the dark, not simply out of fear, but genuinely, because they come after you, they want some help. This is what you call do good merits and transfer to them. And normally, they gather at road corners, compounds, doors, and windows. Again, not inside your house. So the Buddhist practice is to offer dana, give alms to the noble ones. The convention monks will be there to accept, and nuns as well. And they, in return, say like this in the prayer for you. Certainly, like rainwater flows from hills down to the sea, the transfer merits pouring from a smaller cup or jug to the smaller one, and the water you can see flowing like that. Such transferent merit is done so that the spirits become better. They accept the merits. But if it is not done, they may come and disturb you, cause uneasiness, appear in your dreams, or become visible to you as well. So after the transference of merits, when they are satisfied, they in return tell you, thank you very much. Wishing the relatives long life and well-being, because in gratitude, this is what they say. Because weeping and all that, crying, it doesn't reach the bodies of the departed ones. So the Buddhists found a way of transferring merits, which was an Indian practice before Buddhism as well. By doing so, lay people, by making these offerings, they become very duty conscious. We must always think not only about our rights, but our duties as well. And you have done yeoman service by making these offerings for the Sangha, so they can carry on this Buddha Sasana dispensation. And you yourself have created merits by transferring merits for the dead. So you can transfer merits to by other means also, not only to the noble ones, orphanages, to hospitals, printing books, Dhamma books, and doing similar ethical charity. So transference of merits creates a great power in social mutations where you deal in religion to do that good thing. So when you do so, what happens is, you say, idam me ñātinang hotu sukhita hontu ñātiyo. But actually that's only 2 lines halfway. There are 4 lines. I'm not going to repeat the Pali, but just to give you a gist of the thing and to explain how it is so useful in our life systems. The translation will be, let this be merits for my relatives. May my relatives be well and happy, especially be happy. And then the translation goes further. And they have gathered there, and the departed relatives gathered too, in the abundance of food and drink. Remember, transference of merits in the ancient Indian tradition is not just saying a prayer and pouring water, giving the food as well. You find this also in the Ratana Sutta, when you invoke the blessings and ask for the blessings of the Devas. Ratana Sutta was said in the pandemic time, no? How India, Vaishali was affected. So likewise, even at that time, seeking the protection of the Devas. So in transference of merits, you give the food as well for your departed ones. Food and drinks both. So it said, in the abundant food and drink, they wholeheartedly rejoice. And once they have done that, what happens? You yourself have created great merits. So the monks always recite that wonderful gathas and explain very well. This is our Buddhist tradition. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, I have come to the point where I want to end a very important explanation which I have given to you now. In the Buddhist practice, in the hierarchy of making merits, creating good kusalas, skillful action with good intention, with good mode, and with good result. The law of nature, that is what karma is actually. It's not a fascinating, mystified religious theme. No, it's all law of nature. As you sow, so you reap. Do good, you get good. Do good, you are powerful. You can use that power to transfer like energies, because energies cannot be destroyed. They can be only transferred. It's not like a formal point of thing. So therefore, these actions of merit transference is possible, and we have good history recordings to prove this story. Whenever possible, transfer merits to your departed ones. Some of them can become your guardian angel. Do the meritorious deed to transfer to remember their gratitude. You become empowered persons. Such transference of merits empowers the individual and helps him to grow in the Dhamma, helps him to grow in society, and helps him to have self-confidence in himself, which helps him to be a good individual. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Bante, for giving such a wonderful reflection to understand the meaning and the purpose of the Gatha we normally recite in our chanting to transfer the merits for departed relatives and friends. We now understand how important for us to transfer the merits, not just to forget our friends or relatives, or even some people transfer merits for pets. So that's very important. So when you do that, you get in return lot of blessings. So all the gathas included in the basic chanting guide that a normal person has to practice daily is extremely important. I would like to highly encourage our children to learn all these basic gathas. Our Nayaka Hamguru always reflect us how he worked very hard when he was a very young boy who became a monk at the age of 11 in Singapore. He is the first monk to become in Singapore. And you can understand it was not like Sri Lanka. He did not have all the facilities and culture, but he learned all these gathas and all these things, and he very scientifically understand and explain the benefits of that. It helps our life or the progress, happiness. If we are not doing it, even the teaching says that we get a little bit disturbances, some sort of downfall in our life and our activities. But those who are being grateful, who do not forget our relatives, friends, who think of them and transfer the merits, they always progress and get good blessings. Now I would not take much time and pass on to our Rasikaya to do the presentations from the children homework. Thank you very much once again, Bante. May all the blessings, merits that you acquired by reflecting, sharing your time and effort, knowledge and wisdom with us, may those be with your beloved parents who brought you up into this beautiful world to shine like a beautiful star in the world, and also to your teachers and all the people who help you to become a great shining monk. May they all share the blessings by being with our children and sharing this Dhamma with them. So let us share our hearts and merits with our most senior Hamudru and pass on to our opportunity to Rasikaya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Everyone, Saranai Hamdurne. What an excellent talk. I've never heard a detailed description about this transference of merits to our loved ones who have passed away. Excellent. Thank you very much, Hamdurne. So we have planned to celebrate this Nikini Poya today, and children have been preparing what are the important things that took place on Nikini Poya Day, and they're ready to talk about it. So first, I would invite Vidun and Vidunya to take over, and then you know the order and you will follow it. And after Bracknell Dhamma School children's presentations, I would invite Milton Keynes children as well for your presentations. Thank you very much.
The importance of Poya Day.
What is a Poya Day? It is a full moon day, and as the moon is full, it is very bright. It also marks significant events in Buddhism. For example, Wesak Day. There are three main things about Wesak. They are the birth of Prince Siddhartha, the enlightenment of Bodhisattva, and the passing away of Lord Buddha.
These Poya Days happen once a month every single year. For example, Wesak occurs in the month of May. This is a cycle, and we perform various religious activities on Poya Day. This is the cycle of the moon. Imagine that these moons represent one day of the month. This is a new moon, which is a moon with no white bright light. As you can see, until you reach the middle moon. This middle moon is the full moon, which represents the full moon day or Poya Day. After the Poya Day, the moon will get smaller again until it becomes the new moon. This happens every month. One of the most important things we do on a Poya Day is to observe Siri.
What do we do to observe Siri, Ayya?
I can answer that for you, Nangi. Firstly, we wake up early. Then we wear our white clothes. As you can see in this picture, these children are wearing white clothes. But did you notice that they are wearing a white cloth around their left shoulder? This signifies that they are observing Siri. We spend all the day in the temple we practice meditation.
There are more things we do to observe still. We listen to Dhamma talks from Hamaduru. We do Bodhi Poojas before eating food, and then we have food. There are more things. We have to visit the temple. As you can see, these people are going to the temple. They are also carrying flowers, oil lamps, gilampasa, and handum kuru. They are also wearing white clothes. But these people aren't wearing shoes. You should not wear shoes or slippers when you go to the temple.
Not only you should do this activity just on Poya Day, you should do this on every single day of your lives. You respect your parents and teachers, as it is a good thing to do, and you will obtain ping. So imagine that you are with your family and you're at the temple with the Hamaduru. The Hamaduru or your parents tell something for you to do, then you don't do the thing they tell you to do, you will sadly gain akusal, which is a bad thing. And if you do the thing the Hamaduru or your parents have told you to do, then you are obtaining ping, which is a good thing.
These are the names of Poya days. Our month now is August, so that means our Poya day is Nikini Poya. As you can see, all of these months have Poya days. For example, our month now is August, and it is Nikini Poya. Let's find out what are the main points about Nikini Poya.
Over to you, Metal and Mehdi.
Thank you, Vivian and Virginia Aya. The significant event that took place on Nikini Poya Day was the founding of the first Sangha Council led by Maha Thero. It is also called Dhamma Sangayanawa.
Yes, Nyangi, you are correct. It was on the Nikini full moon Poya Day, 3 months after the Buddha's parinirvana, that was held. That was the first Dhamma Sangayanawa, how to protect the Buddhist teachings. It was conducted during a period of 7 months from Nikini full moon Poya Day. Nangi, do you know why Maha Thero decided to hold first Sangha Council?
Yes, Saya. There was a Thero named Osubadda who was very old in age, but very immature in Dhamma. When he heard of the Buddha's parinirvana, he jumped with joy, exclaiming, "Oh, wonderful! The Lord Buddha is passed away. He is so troublesome. We are free from his advice. We are free from the ruthless master. So we are free to do what we want. No one can interfere."
Hearing this, Thero became concerned, thinking, yes, certainly, there are ripe matured people in the Sangha, but there are also immature ones like Subhadra. Such a people will twist his words to suit their own purposes. They will make efforts to remove what undesirable to them by saying the Buddha did not say so. Such people will then be the cause of the Dhamma's downfall. The wise old Maha Thero concluded that all the spoken words from Buddha must be gathered and compiled together. As a result of that, at the Saptaparani cave in Rajagaha, the first Sangha Council took place. 500 Arhat bhikkhus, who were very senior monks of the Buddhists, they were gathered together and adopted the Vinaya Pitaka and Sutra Pitaka as the accurate teaching of the Buddha to be remembered and kept by generations of nuns and monks. The teaching regarding Vinaya, the rules and regulations for the bhikkhus were well absorbed by Upali Thero, which he recounted, and that was accepted by everyone. The rest of the words and teachings were well known to Ananda Thero, which he recounted, and this was accepted by everyone as well. Teruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Metulaya and Mihaly. Mama Upali Therun Jana Kyane Yanne. Bodhi Kalaye Savidivu Upali Therun. Sanskrita Ha Pali Jana Bhikshuwak Una. Unwahanseta Tama Hatyawaha Vinaya. ගැන තිබුණු උනන්දුව නිසා හැම දෙනාම කැමති වුණා. රජකහ නුවරදී පළමු ධර්ම සංගායනාව පැවැත්වුණා. එහිදී විනය ගැන දේශනා කිරීම උපාලි තෙරුන් සිදු කළා. තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
Thank you, Nangi. Today, I'm going to talk about Ananda Hamduo. We can take a lot of good things into our life from this character. We all know Ananda Thero was the main carer of Lord Buddha, the position we call Aga Upasvayaka. When Buddha reached 55 years, as he felt to have someone to permanently care of him, this position being offered by Ananda Hamduo. This was the closest position to Lord Buddha, and before he accepted, he was given some conditions, which was not to be a favor of him. They were focusing to carry out this duty best and existence for the Buddhism for long. After Buddha attained the Nibbana, there was no written record about the Buddha's vision. So they decided to collect the Buddha's Dhamma teaching in one place and have first Dhamma Council. In here, he played a leading part because he had a good memory power. Whatever said by the Buddha, he kept his memory. Between the Buddha's many disciples, Ananda Thero stood out for having most retentive memory. Ananda Thero
attained arhatship at the night on the day before the first Dhamma Council. It was happened on Nikini Poya day. Thank you.
Thank you, Rayon Idea. Maha Kassapa Maharaj once said, 2,500 years ago, in the village of Magadha Kingdom, there was a rich Brahmin family. Venerable Maha Kassapa Tiro born in this family. His name was Pirith. He lived with his parents. As time passed, Pirith's parents had left the world. Pirith decided to renounce the world. He was told that Sakyamuni Buddha was the great enlightened one. Pirith became a monk after he met Buddha and called as Maha Kassapa Tero. The Buddha passed away at the age of 80. 7 days after Buddha Parinirvana, Maha Kassapa Tero arrived. He made a homemade to Buddha and said, Lord Buddha, we will follow your steps. After that, the coffin lighted. Thereupon, Maha Kassapa Tero took a responsibility of the spreading of the Dhamma. 90 days after Buddha entered Parinirvana, a great assembly was held to agree upon the test of the Buddha teaching. The council headed by Maha Kassapa Tero and main other Teros. It was formed and presided over by Maha Kassapa Tero about 30 years after the assembly of the council. Maha Kassapa Tero entered Nirvana. Thank you, Tero Sarnai.
Thank you, Sadev Malli. As Mithul Malli and Mihirangi said earlier, the first Buddhist council was a significant step that had been taken for the future of Buddhism.
Yes, during the first Buddhist council, Dharma and Vinaya Pitaka were discussed and approved by all the assembled Mahatheros.
Vinaya Nama Shasanassa Ayu. Monastic conduct or discipline is the future of the Buddhist monastery, was the theme for this Sangayanava.
Therefore, first of all, with the consent of all the Mahatheros, Venerable Maha Kassapa questioned Upali Thero, who was the expert on the Vinaya of the day.
Yes, Manu. As you mentioned, Venerable Upali Thero was specifically questioned about the monastic conduct and discipline, as even Buddha himself honored Upali Thero as one who has mastered Vinaya.
The questions were asked with regard to where, to whom, and the subject of the reason for the Vinaya rules.
The answers and remarks of Upali Thero were approved by all the Sangha, and Vinaya Pitakaya, which consists of Mahavaggapaliya, Chullavaggapaliya, Padivadapaliya, Parajikapaliya, and Pachittapaliya, was formally approved.
Were they relevant to both bhikkhus and bhikkhunis?
Yes, Mali. All the Vinaya rules agreed upon at the council were regarding both bhikkhu and bhikkhuni orders.
Next, Maha Kassapa Thero questioned Ananda Thero in length about the Dhamma with reference to the Buddha's sermons. Do you know, Akka? Ananda Thero was well known for his ability to remember everything he heard, and therefore he answered all the questions with no hesitation.
the subject matter of Sutta Pitaka in all 5 Nikayas was formulated as questions for Ananda Thero. They were also formulated with regard to where, to whom, and when the particular sermon was given. As the Dhamma Gadika, Ananda Thero answered all the questions and provided all the verifications regarding different discourses of Dhamma accurately. Upon the approval of all the assembled Maha Theros, the Dhamma Pitaka was then entrusted to the following Theros to protect and carry on to the future. Vika Nikaya was entrusted to Arhat Ananda Thero and his disciples. Madhyama Nikaya was entrusted to the disciples of Sariputta Thero. Sanyutta Nikaya was entrusted to Maha Kassapa Thero and his disciples. Anguttara Nikaya was entrusted to Arahat Anuruddha Thero and his followers. And finally, Kuddaka Nikaya was entrusted to all the Theros. We hope now you all know what things happened during the first Buddhist council, or the Prathama Dharma Sangayana birth. Thank you for listening. Theruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Abhishek and Hasindamalli. Do you know, Nangi, there was a considerable agitation over the admission of Ananda Thera to the council.
Why was that, Ayya?
Because Ananda Thera was not reached the stage of Arhat by then.
So did not Ananda Thero attend the council, Ayya?
No, Nangi. Ananda Thera actually did attain the Arhatship on the eve of the council. However, because of the conventional belief that the level of Arhat lists one of all guilt, and because of the late development of Ananda's attainment, he was still questioned by his peers on several charges.
Several charges? What were they, Ayya?
He could not formulate the least and minor precepts as he was overwhelmed with grief over the demise of the master. He had tread upon the web of the master while swimming it as there was no one to help him. He permitted women to salute the body of the master first because he did not want to detain them. He was under the influence of Maha, the evil one, when he forgot to request the master to remain for Kalpa when Buddha announced the approach of his demise. He called for the admission of women into the order out of consideration for Mahaprajapati Gautami, who nursed the master in infancy. The charges are differently framed in other accounts. The replies given may be taken to have satisfied the assembly.
That was really interesting, Ayya.
Not only that, Nangi, there is another interesting story. Do you like to hear it, Nangi?
Please tell me that, Ayya.
It was the other passing of the highest penalty.
What again?
Dharmadanda on Chanda, the Buddha's charioteer on the day of his renunciation.
Prajnadana? What is the meaning of that, Ayya?
Before the Parinibbana, the Buddha instructed Ananda Thera to impose the Dharmadanda on Chanda. As a monk, Chanda was extremely open and had slaughtered every member of the order high and low. The penalty imposed was complete social boycott. That means for bhikkhus to simply ignore him and to have more nothing to do with him. When the punishment was announced to Chanda, he was seized with such grief and repentance that he was purged of his weakness and this became Arahat, the punishment removed. We hope you all know how Ananda Thera fulfilled its requirement to participate in the first Buddhist council.
Theruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Senut Malli and Saranangi. Today I'm going to speak about the development happened after the first Dhamma conversion. Summary of the proceedings of the first council pursued 4 results. First, settlement of the Vinaya by Venerable Upali. Second, settlement of Dhamma by Venerable Ananda Thero. Third, the trial of Venerable Ananda Thero. Fourth, The punishment of Channa, the teaching that had been agreed upon the first council, were carried away from Rajagaha in memorized form to various places where this scattered Sangha had become established. The next thing that was done was the translation of these texts from the common language of Rajagaha, which possibly was Magadhi, into the various local languages. Then in each locality there would have been done distributed to different monks who would take the responsibility of memorization and passing it on to others. The members of the first council agreed to the authenticity of the canon, while those who were absent reserved the preference to decline the parts of the canon they saw fit and present their own version of the master's teaching. At this point, there was no centralized authority or religion of Buddhism, consequently allowing the scattered community of monks and nuns to grow creatively. This liberal environment allowed for the development of various forms of discipline, religious practice and physiological interpretation, indicating the Buddha as the originator. Due to a decline of the original standards set forth by the Buddha, other councils were convened to purify the Buddha's teaching and the Sangha again. The text of the first Buddhist council, Vinaya Pitaka, comprises the following: Parijika Pali, major offences; Pachitya Pali, minor offences; Mahavagga Pali, gracer section; Kullavagga Pali, lesser section; Parivara Pali, summary and classification of Vinaya. Sutra Pitaka comprises of the following 5 Nikayas: Dirgha Nikaya, collection of long discourses, 34 discourses; Majjhima Nikaya, collection of middle-length discourses, 152 discourses; Samyutta Nikaya, collection of related discourses, 7,762 discourses; Anguttara Nikaya, collection of numerical discourses, 9,557 discourses. Bankers are speakers who recite the teaching and are responsible for the spread of the teaching. It was said that the bankers for Dirgha Nikaya, Ananda Thero; Majjhima Nikaya, Sariputta Thero; Samyutta Nikaya, Maha Kassapa Thero; Anguttara Nikaya, Anuruddha Thero. Thank you for listening to me. Theruvan Sarana.
Excellent. Very good, everyone. So there's not much time left for us. Can I pass it over to Milton Keynes? Who is ready? Yeah, Ramin? Ramin, your turn.
Buddhist Saranai. Today I'm going to talk a few things about Nikini Poya Day. On this day, first Sangha Council took place, which led by Maha Kassapa Thero. Nikini Poya is connected to vast rainy season, which start from Esara Poya. Thank you. Oba Samata Theruvan Saranai.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Who is next? Seth, are you there? Or Nikini? Chiara, are you ready? Do you want to talk? No?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
All about Nikini Poya Day. Nikini Full Moon Poya Day is the 8th Poya in the vast season. It is the start of the rainy retreat for the Bhikkhuni. Nikini Poya Day celebrates the Dhamma Sanggayana, the first Buddhist council. According to the Buddhist tradition, the council was held shortly after the death of the Buddha. Theruvan Saranai.
Thank you, Chiara. Well done. Anyone else from Milton Keynes? No? Oh, yeah. Diniti. Yeah, Diniti, your turn.
Thank you. Buddha Savanai. Buddha Savana Veva. Sadham Savana Veva. Sangha Savana Veva. Metum Savanin Jayama Veva. The importance of Nikini Poya Day. Nikini Poya Day celebrates the Dhamma Sangayana, the first Buddhist council. It is the 8th full moon Poya of the year. According to Buddhist tradition, it was held shortly after Buddha's parinirvana. This day celebrates 4 significant occurrences in Buddhist history: attainment of arahantship of Ananda Maha Thero, commencement of the first Dhamma Sangayana, convocation to settle the Buddhist canon, and the commencement of the Vas period. Thero and Sinai. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Anyone else from Milton Keynes? Right. Hamdrune, I think we have gone over the time. I will send the, now we plan to do Akasa Tajbamattagata and its meaning, the homework next week. We'll go ahead and do that. And Dhammakarana, I would nominate Virul to do Dhammakarana presentation next week. Anyone else want to do from Milton Keynes? Any volunteer? Okay. I think Hamduru might talk to you later on about that. So the lesson that we are going to talk about next week, I'll send you a message later on because it's not the time to discuss about that now. Hamdurane, I will kindly pass it over to you to finish it off. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rasikaya, for making all the effort to bring our children together and making a wonderful platform for them to learn together, which is a great thing. I don't see some other children have the same great opportunity to learn this way, and this allows us to learn a lot. So even today, children were very great and they contributed a lot on the full moon day in the month of August. We call Nikini Poya Day. Also, we invited our most venerable Nayaka Hamudro to talk about transference of merits. All these activities we do in the chanting is very useful, very beneficial for practical life. That is why we make all the effort for you to be involved and learn. This is the very right age for you to learn. If you grow without learning these cultural important things, I have seen actually people struggle a lot, and they can grow up into very big professionals, but their life is in danger and they suffer a lot. So therefore, especially I'm very grateful to some of the parents who make a lot of effort. Even when we see the scale of presentation that children are doing, I think they would grow up into a very important personalities in the future. So let us make more effort to bring our children with all these understanding and also practical experience, so that they will not get lost in the future. Now we are going to do the evening puja together with everyone today. Today puja is being sponsored by the parents and the children of Becknell Dhamma School. I am very grateful for them, as we even have few days vacant for someone to sponsor to keep these programs going. If you wish to sponsor these programs, please get us in touch and let us know. We will think of you and your loved ones and transfer the merits by facilitating these very beneficial programs to be hosted for the benefit of our children and many. So it's a great pleasure to have you in this evening together to do the puja, the homage to the supremely enlightened Lord Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, and also chant very powerful discourses. Coming to the temple is very powerful, very beneficial, but by joining like this, you make extra benefit as well, because you can bring that spirit to your household, to your environment, and you will still not away from the temple in your heart. So therefore, we are very lucky to have this opportunity. May the merits that we acquire by participating, hosting this noble blessing ceremony be with all the parents of Bracknell Dhamma School by sponsoring the day, and may their loved ones may be no longer with us, have all the merits, and may they have a very peaceful and liberating journey in the samsara. May the devas rejoice in these powerful merits and return their blessings to you all. Today we are commemorating, thinking of the Nikini full moon day, which normally falls on the last Monday. If you have seen the last Monday, moon was very full. As Vidun and Vidunya were showing the pictures of the moon, how it transcends from different parts into a full moon. So this transition of the moon comes to the full, and it is, we call, a very holy day, very special day. You know, many parts of the country, especially in Sri Lanka, they celebrate in a different way. In Kandy, they have a big procession we call Kandy Perahara to commemorate in line with this full moon day. And also in Kataragama, there is another big, very colorful pageant. It's a procession that make with bringing all the spirits from different parts of the world in the country. And also in the down south, they do a very special thing called Nikini Poya. They make special food and offer it to the divines, and make us bring the family together and sit on the floor and share that meal by offering the first portion to the guardian angels. So that is in the down south. That is a very important. At night they do it. They make a special shrine outside the house, light some candles, big candles, to light it up, and then make a special place and offer these kind of a milk based rice and some other special traditional dish, and offer, then invite all their family and friends to household and sit together and eat. Then also they share with their neighbors and friends, and normally they remain vegetarian on that day. And there are great things that happens even today. When we think of the whole world, monks take the observance of rainy retreat on this full moon day. So those who couldn't observe the retreat last month, they normally observe the retreat this month all around the world. And therefore it is a very important full moon day for all of us to have that celebrated. And in addition to that, as you all mentioned, if you have listened to the children this very day, that so many things, especially the first Buddhist council was held. Because of that, even there were some changes to Buddhist teachings, but the prestige, that pure nature of Buddhist teachings are still available as a gratitude to those elder monks at that time. You know, Buddha was there for 45 years. After that, he traveled to Kushinagar, we call Kushinara Nuwara, and passed away in that Upavattana Salluyana park. And then there was a lot of monks there, and some of them were not enlightened. They were very sad. They were crying, they were weeping, and they were very upset. There was a very old monk who was ordained very old age, said, don't worry about now, because we don't have a person to say things. We can do whatever we like. Eventually that goes into one of the very elderly monk, senior monk. He was very enlightened, and then he mentioned it to the king and arranged a special council to preserve the teachings of the Lord Buddha. As a result, that teaching was preserved and made it available in organized manner. So also the Venerable Ananda Thero was not enlightened by that time. On that full moon day, he served the Lord Buddha as the attendant to the Buddha for 25 years. And he was the one who knew a lot of teachings of the Buddha. Without him, it was not possible to have the first Buddhist council. That is why he made all the effort to become enlightened before the council. So I would encourage every children to research about that culture and learn it. It was very helpful. Now let us do our evening puja together. We pay our homage to the supremely enlightened Lord Buddha, the sublime Dhamma, noble community of monks. May the offerings, flowers, rings, incense, and all other offerings be offered to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and also the sacred Bodhi tree, relics of Buddha and Arahant. May those blessings be with the sponsors of the day, the parents and the children of Bracknell Dhamma School, and may those blessings be great paramitas into their life to develop their good health, protection, and progress in every way. පිළියෙල කරගත් මල් පහන් සුවඳදුම් ගිලන්පස මේ සියලු පූජාවන් තුන්ලොවක් සනහාලු බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත අප්‍රමාණ බුදු ගුණ උදෙසා පූජා කරමි පූජාම වේවා. මේ සියලුම පූජාවන් අනුරාධපුර මහමෙවුනා උයනේ වැඩ සිටින ජයශ්‍රී මහා බෝධීන් වහන්සේටත් අප විහාරස්ථානයේ වැඩ සිටින උතුම් බෝධීන් වහන්සේටත් දලදා වහන්සේ ඇතුළු සියලු ධාතුන් වහන්සේලාටත් පූජා කරමි පූජාම වේවා. ඔබට ගෙදර ඉඳගෙන මේ උතුම් ශාන්තිය සලසා ගන්නට හදවතින්ම එකතු වී හිත සමාධිගත කරගෙන ඒකාත්මිකව මේ උතුම් අදිෂ්ඨාන පූජාව සිදු කරමින් සෙත් පිරිත් දේශනාව සිදු කරමින් රැස් කරගන්න කුසල ශක්තියේ බලයෙන් රාහු කෙහෙතු රවි සඳු කුජ බුද ගුරු සිකුරු සෙනසුරු කියන නවග්‍රහ දොස් දුරු වේවා. සතුරු කරදර බාධක විපත් දුරු වේවා. බලාපොරොත්තු ප්‍රාර්ථනා ඒකාන්ත වශයෙන් ඉෂ්ට සිද්ධ වේවා. දරුවන්ගේ අනාගත අධ්‍යාපන කටයුතු සාර්ථක වේවා. හැදූ වැඩූ පින්වත් දෙමව්පියන්ට සසර සුවයක්ම සැලසේවා. මියගිය සියලු ඥාතීන් සියලු දුකින් එතරව අමා මහ නිවනින් සැනසෙත්වා කියන අදිෂ්ඨාන ඇති කරගෙන දෙවියන්ද මේ පින් අනුමෝදන්ව සැපයටපත් වේවා. දෙවියන්ගේ ආරක්ෂාව ආශිර්වාද සලසා ගැනීමෙන් තමන්ගේ ජීවිතයත් වාසනාවන්ත කරමින් දූ දරුවන්ගේ ජීවිතයත් වාසනාවන්ත කරමින් විහාරස්ථානයත් ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා ඇතුළු සෑම දෙනාටමත් සියලු දායක පින්නතුන්ටත් සියලු යහපතම සලසා දෙමින් කටයුතු කරන්නට දෙවියන්ගේ ආරක්ෂාව ආශිර්වාද සැලසේවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨාන ඇති කරගෙන අපි හැම දෙනාම එකට එකතුව තුනුරුවන් වන්දනා කරමු. Vidunya, would you like to say Namo Tassa 3 times?
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmeraya majjapamā daṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Surāmere majjapamā daṭṭhānā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Mama satun nomarami.
Mama satun nomarami.
සොරකම් කිසිත් නොකරමි
සොරකම් කිසිසින් නොකරමි
දුසිරිතෙන් වැළකෙමි
දුසිරිතෙන් වැළකෙමි
බොරු බසින්
බොරු බසින්
මත් පැනින් දුරු වෙමි
මත් පැනින් දුරු වෙමි
මේ තිසරණ සහිත වූ
මේ තිසරණ සහිත වූ
පංචශීලය
පංචශීලය
මාර්ගඵල නිවන් පිණිසම
මාර්ගඵල නිවන් පිණිසම
හේතු වේවා
හේතු වේවා
වාසනාව වේවා
වාසනාව වේවා
මාගේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ
මාගේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ
රහසින්වත් පව් නොකලසේක
රහසින්වත් පව් නොකලසේක
සියලු පාපයන්ගෙන් මිදුනසේක
සියලු පාපයන්ගෙන් මිදුණුසේක
උතුම් චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය ධර්මයන්
උතුම් චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය ධර්මයන්
අවබෝධ කළසේක
අවබෝධ කළසේක
අෂ්ට විද්‍යාවන්
අෂ්ට විද්‍යාවන්
පසළොස් චරණ ධර්මයන්
පසළොස් චරණ ධර්මයන්
ප්‍රගුණ කළසේක
ප්‍රගුණ කළසේක
ගමනින් සාන්ත වූ
ගමනින් සාන්ත වූ
පැවැත්මෙන් සංවර වූ
පැවැත්මෙන් සංවර වූ
බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ
බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ
සුන්දර වූ නිවනට වැඩිසේක
සුන්දර වූ නිවනට වැඩිසේක
සියලු ලෝතතු
සියලු ලෝතතු
දැන වදාළසේක
දැන වදාළසේක
දමනය කළ යුතු
දමනය කළ යුතු
සියලුම සත්වයෝ
සියලුම සත්වයෝ
මෛත්‍රී බලයෙන්
මෛත්‍රී බලයෙන්
මහා කරුණාවෙන්
මහා කරුණාවෙන්
දමනය කළසේක
දමනය කළසේක
සියලු ලෝවැසියන්ගේ
සියලු ලෝවැසියන්ගේ
ආමිස පූජා
ආමිස පූජා
ප්‍රතිපත්ති පූජා
ප්‍රතිපත්ති පූජා
යල්ලටම සුදුසු වනසේක
සියල්ලටම සුදුසු වනසේක
දෙවි මිනිසුන්ට
දෙවි මිනිසුන්ට
ශාස්තෘනම් වනසේක
ශාස්තෘනම් වනසේක
බුද්ධ නම් වනසේක
බුද්ධ නම් වනසේක
භගවා නම් වනසේක
භගවානම් වනසේක
මෙසේ අනන්ත වූ
මෙසේ අනන්ත වූ
අප්‍රමාණ ගුණ ඇත්තා වූ
අප්‍රමාණ ගුණ ඇත්තා වූ
බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට
බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට
මේ පහන් ආලෝකය
මේ පහන් ආලෝකය
පූජා කරමි
පූජා කරමි
මේ සුවඳ දුම් පූජා කරමි
මේ සුවඳ දුම් පූජා කරමි
මේ සුවඳ මල් පූජා කරමි
මේ සුවඳ මල් පූජා කරමි
මේ ප්‍රනීත ගිලන්පස
මේ ප්‍රනීත ගිලන්පස
මේ සියලු පූජාවෝ
මේ සියලු පූජාවෝ
පූජා කරමි
පූජා කරමි
පූජා වේවා
පූජා වේවා
පූජාම වේවා
පූජාම වේවා
සාදු 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 නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස්ස භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස ඉතිපිසෝ භගවා අරහං සම්මා සම්බුද්දෝ විජ්ජාචරණ සංපන්නෝ සුගතෝ ලෝකවිදු අනුත්තරෝ පුරිස ධම්මසාරති සත්තා දේව මනුස්සානං බුද්ධෝ භගවාති බුද්ධං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි ස්වාක්ඛාතෝ භගවතා ධම්මෝ සංදිත්තිකෝ අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පස්සිකෝ ඕපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදිතබ්බෝ විඤ්ඤුහිති ධම්මං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජෝපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ඥාය පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුංගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්කිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක් කෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති සංඝං ජීවිතං යාව නිබ්බානං සරණං ගච්ඡාමි වන්දාමි චේතියං සබ්බං සබ්බඨානේසු පතිට්ඨිතං සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා යස්ස මූලේ නිසින්නෝව සම්බාරි විජයං අකා පත්තෝ සම්බං යුතං සත්තා වන්දේ තං බෝධිපාදපං ඉමේතේ මහා බෝධි ලෝකනාතේන පූජිතා අහං පිතේ නමස්සාමි බෝධි රාජා නමත්තුතේ ගණසාරප්පදිත්තේන දීපේන තමදංසිනා තිලෝක දීපං සංබුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුදං ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන දූපේනාහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජයේ පූජනීයන්තං පූජා භාජන මුත්තමං වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සන්තසින් පූජයාමි මුනිං දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහේ පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නේන පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබාමි මොක්ඛං උප්පං මිලායාති යතයි ධම්මේ කායෝ තතයාති විනාශ භාවං සුගන්ධං සීතලං කප්පං පසන්න මధుරං සුභං පානීය මේතං භගවා පතිගන්හාතු උත්තමං අදිවාසේ තුනෝ බන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තමං කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ භන්තේ බූරිපඤ්ඤ තථාගත කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ ධම්ම සංදිට්ඨික අකාලික කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පමාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ සංඝ සුපටිපන්න අනුත්තර ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ බාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ තු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා ආකාසට්ටාච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ටා ච භුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ටා ච බුම්මට්ටා දේවානාගා මහින්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්칸තු මං පරන්ති ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ ඉදං මේ ඥාතිනං හෝතු සුඛිතා හොන්තු ඥාතයෝ Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Now we are going to make a very special chanting of protection blessings. If you can find some books, just try to chant together, keeping your mics muted. That will bring a lot of blessings. At least to listen to this chanting at a time of difficulties is very helpful. Even in general, it can bring a lot of benefits to the life. So make this available. We are being sponsored for the day today by the parents and the children of Bracknell Dhamma School. There are some other weekends, the forthcoming days, that if you want to sponsor and support these to be available, there are some spaces available. It is a great merit, blessing. So today we dedicate the blessings to facilitate this program for the benefit of children and everyone. Be with all the parents and children who are sponsoring today and their parents and also all other relatives and friends. Share these merits and may they be well, happy and peaceful. May the children have all the good health protection to fulfill their all aspirations. Bearing this in our heart, we will do a special chanting that we do at the end of our evening puja. Samanta Chakravalesu Atra Gacchantu Devata Saddhammang Munirajassa Sunantu Sangha Mokkadang Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta Pirith Dhammasavana Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijñācarana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati Satta deva manussanang buddho bhagavati Swāgkato bhagavata dhammo sangdittiko අකාලිකෝ ඒහි පස්සිකෝ උපනයිකෝ පච්චත්තං වේදි තම්බෝ විඤ්ඤුහිති සුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ උජ්ජුපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ඥායපටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ සාමීචි පටිපන්නෝ භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ යදිදං චත්තාරි පුරිස යුගානි අට්ඨ පුරිස පුංගලා ඒස භගවතෝ සාවක සංඝෝ ආහුනේයෝ පාහුනේයෝ දක්ඛිනේයෝ අංජලි කරණීයෝ අනුත්තරං පුඤ්ඤක්ඛෙත්තං ලෝකස්සාති ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත්තයං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත්තයං ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන පාතු ත්වං රතනත්තයං එවං මේ සුතං ඒකං සමයං භගවා සාවත්තියං විහෙරති 제තවනේ අනාථ පිණ්ඩිකස්ස ආරාමේ අතකෝ අඤ්ඤතරා දේවතා අභික්ඛන්තාය රත්තියා අභික්ඛන්ත වන්නා කේවල කප්පං 제තවනං ඕභාසෙත්වා යේන භගවාතේනුපසංකමි උපසංකමිත්වා භගවන්තං අභිවාදෙත්වා ඒකමන්තං අට්ඨාසි ඒකමන්තං තිතාකෝසා දේවතා භගවන්තං ගාතාය අජ්ජභාසි බහුදේවා මනුස්සාච මංගලානි අචින්තයුන් ආකංකමානා සොත්තානං බ්‍රූහි මංගල මුත්තමං අසේවනාච බාලානං පණ්ඩිතානංච සේවනා පූජාච පූජනීයානං ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං පතිරූපදේශ වාසෝච පුබ්බේත කත පුඤ්ඤතා අත්ත සම්මා පනිදිච ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං බාහු සච්චංච සිප්පංච විනයෝච සුසික්ඛිතෝ සුභාසිතාච යාවාචා ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං මාතා පිතු උපට්ඨානං පුත්ත දාරස්ස සංඝහෝ අනාකුලාච කම්මන්තා ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං දානංච ධම්මචරියාච ඥාතකානංච සංඝහෝ අනවජ්ජානි කම්මානි ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං ආරති විරති පාපා මජ්ජපානාච සංයමෝ අප්පමාදෝච ධම්මේසු ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං ගාරවෝච නිවාතෝච සන්තුට්ඨීච කතං යුතා කාලේන ධම්ම සවනං ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං කන්ති ච සෝව චස්සතා සමනානං ච දස්සනං කාලේන ධම්ම සාකච්ඡා ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං තපෝච බ්‍රහ්මචරියං ච අරිය සච්ඡාන දස්සනං නිබ්බාන සච්චි කිරියාච ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං පුට්ටස්ස ලෝක ධම්මේහි චිත්තං යස්සන කම්පති අසෝකං විරජං කේමං ඒතං මංගල මුත්තමං ඒතාදිසානි කත්වාන සම්බත්ත මපරාජිතා සම්බත්ත සොත්තිං ගච්ඡanti තං තේ සංමංගල මුත්තමං තී ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්ති තේ හෝතු සම්බදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සම්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායා නිව අන්තලික්කේ සම්බේව භූතා සුමනා භවන්තු අතෝපි සක්කච්ච සුනන්තු භාසිතං තස්මාහි භූතානි සාමේත සබ්බේ මෙත්තං කරෝත මානුසියා පජාය දිවාච රත්තෝච හරන්තියේ බලින් තස්මායිනේ රක්කත අප්පමත්තා යං කිංචි විත්තං ඉදවා හුරං වා සග්ගේ සුවායන් රතනං පනීතං නනෝ සමං අත්ති තථාගතේන ඉදං පි බුද්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු khayang viragang amatang panitang yadajjaga sakya muni samahito natena dhammena samanti kinchi idang pidamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu yang buddha setto pariwannai sucing samadhimanan tarikanyamahu samadhinatena samuna vijjati idang pidamme ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu ye punggala atta satang pasatta chattarietani yugani honti te dakkineya sugatassa savaka ete sudinnani mahampalani idang pi sange ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu ye suppayutta manasa dalhena nikkamino gotama sasanam hi te patti patta amatang vigaiha ladda muda nibbuting bunjamana idang pi sange ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu yatinda kilo pataving sitosiya chatumbiwate piya sampakampiyo tatupamang sappurisang vadamiyo ariya saccani Avecca passati idang pisanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu ye ariya saccani vibhavayanti gambira panyena sudesitani kincapite honti busappamatta nate bawang attamang adiyanti idang pisanghe ratanang panitang etena saccena suwanti hotu සහවස්ස දස්සන සම්පදාය තයස්සු ධම්මා ජහිතා භවಂತಿ සක්කාය දිට්ඨි විචිකිච්ඡිතං ච සීලබ්බතං වාපිය දත්ති කිංචි චතුහ පායේහි ච විප්පමුත්තෝ චචාභිඨානානි අබම්බෝ කාතුං ඉදං පිසංගේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු කිංචාපිසෝ කම්මං කරෝති පාපකං කායේන වාචා උදචේතසාවා අබම්බෝසෝ තස්ස පටිච්චාදාය අබම්බතාදිත්ත පදස්ස වුත්තා ඉදං පිසංගේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු වනප්පගුම්බේ යතා පුස්සිතග්ගේ ගිම්හාන මාසේ පටමස්මින් ගිම්හේ තතුපමන් ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි නිබ්බානගාමින් පරමන් හිතාය ඉදං පිබුද්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවන්ති හෝතු වරෝ වරඤ්ඤෝ වරදෝ වරහරෝ අනුත්තරෝ ධම්ම වරං අදේසයි ඉදං පිබුද්දේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවන්ති හෝතු කීනං පුරාණං නවන්නත්ති සම්භවං විරත්ත චිත්තා ආයතිකේ බවස්මින් තේ කීන බීජා අවිරුල්ලිච්ඡ ඡන්දා නිබ්බන්ති දීරා යතායන් පදීපෝ ඉදං පිසංගේ රතනං පනීතං ඒතේන සච්චේන සුවත්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං බුද්ධං නමස්සාම සුවත්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායානිව අන්තලික්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං ධම්මං නමස්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු යානිද භූතානි සමාගතානි බුම්මානි වායා නිව අන්තලික්කේ තථාගතං දේව මනුස්ස පූජිතං සංඝං නමස්සාම සුවන්ති හෝතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සොත්තිතේ හෝතු සබ්බදා ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු ඒතේන සච්ච වජ්ජේන හෝතු තේ ජය මංගලං කරණීය මත්ත කුසලේන යන්තං සන්තං පදං අபிසමෙච්ච Sakko ujuca sujuca suwaco chassa mudu anatimani Santussa koca subharoca appakincoca sallahuka vutti Sangtindriyoca nipakoca appagabbo kulesu ananugindo Naca kundang samacare kinciyena vinyo pare upavadeyong Sukino vake mino hontu sabbe satta Bhavantu sukitatta eke cipana bhutanti Tasava tavarava anavasesa Digavaye mahantava majjimarassa Kanukatula dittava eva additta Yecha dure vasanti avidure bhutava Sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukitatta Naparo parang nikumbeta nati manyeta kattatinang kanchi Vyarosana patiga sanyanya manyassa dukkha micceya Mata yatani yang puttang ayusa eka putta manuratke Evaଂ pisabba bhutesu mana sangbhavaye aparimanang Mettanca sabba lokasmin mana sangbhavaye aparimanang Uddang adoca tiriyanca asangbhadang averang asapattang Tittancarang nisinno vasayano vayavatassa vigatamindo Etang sating aditteya brahmametang viharang idamahu Dittinca anupagamma silavadassanena sampanno Kamesu vinehiyagedang nahi jatu gabba seyang punareti ti Etena sanca vajjena sottite hotu sabbada Etena sacca vajjena sambharogo vinassatu Etena sacca vajjena hotu te jaya mangalang Siriditi mati tejo jaya siddhi mahiddi mahagunang Aparimita punyadikarassa sabbangtaraya Nivarana samattassa bhagavato arahato Samma sambuddhassa dvattingsa mahapurisa Lakkananubhavena asityanubhyanjana lakkananubhavena Attuttara satamangala lakkananubhavena Chabbannaran syanubhavena Ketumalanubhavena Dasaparamitanubhavena Dasa upaparamithanubhavena Dasa paramatta paramithanubhavena Sila samadhi panyanubhavena Buddhanubhavena Dhammanubhavena Sanghanubhavena Tejanubhavena Indyanubhavena Balanubhavena Neyya Dhammanubhavena Chaturasiti sahassa Dhammaskandhanubhavena Navalokottara Dhammanubhavena Attangika Magganubhavena අට්ඨ සමාපත්‍යානුභාවේන චල විඤ්ඤානුභාවේන මෙත්තා කරුණා මුදිතා උපේක්ඛානුභාවේන සම්බ පාරමිතානුභාවේන රතනත්ය සරණානුභාවේන තුයිහං සම්බ රෝග සෝක උපද්දව දුක්ඛ දෝමනස්සු පායාසා විනස්සන්තු සබ්බ සංකප්පාතුයිහං සමිඤ්ඤන්තු දීගායුකෝ හෝතු සතවස්ස ජීවේන සමන්ගිකෝ හෝතු සම්බදා ආකාස පබ්බත වන භූමි තටාක ගංගා මහා සමුද්ද ආරක්කක දේවතා සදා තුම්හි අනුරක්කන්තු සම්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සම්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන බුද්ධ රතනං ධම්ම රතනං සංඝ රතනං තින්නං රතනානං ආනුභාවේන චතුරාසීති සහස්ස ධම්මස්කන්ධානුභාවේන පිටකත්තයානුභාවේන ජිනසාවකානුභාවේන සම්බේතේ රෝගා සම්බේතේ භයා සම්බේතේ අන්තරායා සම්බේතේ උපන්දවා සම්බේතේ දුන්නිමිත්තා සම්බේතේ අවමංගලා විනස්සන්තු ආයු වණ්ඩකෝ ධන වණ්ඩකෝ සිරි වණ්ඩකෝ යස වණ්ඩකෝ බල වණ්ඩකෝ වන්න වණ්ඩකෝ සුඛ වණ්ඩකෝ හෝතු සම්බදා දුක්ඛ රෝග භය වේරා සෝකා සම්බේ උපද්දවා අනේකා අන්තරායාපි විනස්සන්තු ච තේජසා ජය සිද්ධි ධනං ලාභං සොත්ති භාග්‍යං සුඛං බලං සිරියායුච වන්නෝ ච භෝගං වුද්ධි ච යසවා සතවස්සාච ආයුච ජීව සිද්ධි භවන්තු තේ සම්බීතියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවත් වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීගායුකෝ භව භවතු සම්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සම්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්බ දේවතා සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ භවතු සම්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සම්බ දේවතා සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ නක්ඛන්ත යක්ඛ භූතානං පාපග්ඝා නිවාරණා පරිත්තස්සානුභාවේන හන්තු තේ සංඋපද්දවේ නක්ඛන්ත යක්ඛ භූතානං පාපග්ඝා නිවාරණා පරිත්තස්සානුභාවේන හන්තු තේ සංඋපද්දවේ නක්ඛන්ත යක්ඛ භූතානං පාපග්ඝා නිවාරණා පරිත්තස්සානුභාවේන හන්තු තේ සංඋපද්දවේ යන් දුන්නිමිත්තං අවමංගලං ච යෝචාමනාපෝ සකුණස්ස සද්දෝ පාපග්ග හෝදුස්සු පිනන්නකන්තං බුද්ධානුභාවේන විනාශමින්තු යන් දුන්නිමිත්තං අවමංගලං ච යෝචාමනාපෝ සකුණස්ස සද්දෝ පාපග්ග හෝදුස්සු පිනන්නකන්තං ධම්මානුභාවේන විනාශමෙන්තු යන්දුන් නිමිත්තං අවමංගලං ච යෝචාමනාපෝ සකුණස්ස සද්දෝ පාපග්ගහෝ දුස්සු පිනන්නකන්තං සංඝානුභාවේන විනාශමෙන්තු දුක්ඛම් පත්තාච නිදුක්ඛා භයම් පත්තාච නිබ්භයා සෝකම් පත්තාච නිස්සෝකා හොන්තු සබ්බේ පිපානිනෝ සබ්බේ බුද්ධා බලප්පත්තා පච්චේ කානංච යං බලං අරහන්තානං ච තේජේන රක්ඛං වන්දාමි සබ්බසෝ සබ්බේ බුද්ධා බලප්පත්තා පච්චේ කානං ච යං බලං අරහන්තානං ච තේජේන රක්ඛං වන්දාමි සබ්බසෝ සබ්බේ බුද්ධා බලප්පත්තා පච්චේ කානං ච යං බලං අරහන්තානං ච තේජේන රක්ඛං වන්දාමි සබ්බසෝ දේවෝ වස්සතු කාලේන සස්ස සම්පත්ති හේතුච පීතෝ භවතු ලෝකෝච රාජා භවතු ධම්මිකෝ ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු දේශනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවානාගා මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරං රක්ඛන්තු මං පරන්ති සාදු 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 හැම දිනාටම උතුම් නිකිනිපුර 15ක් පොහෝ දිනේ අනන්තානුභාවයෙන් තුනුරුවන් සතු අනන්ත බුදු ගුණවල ශක්තියෙන් ජය ශ්‍රී මහා බෝධීන් වහන්සේගේ දළදා වහන්සේගේ ආශිර්වාදයෙන් සියලු යහපත සැලසේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා. Wish you all the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, sacred Bodhi tree, relics of Buddha and Arahant, and also the most powerful blessings of the full moon day in the month of August. May you all be well, happy and peaceful. May you have the protection from all around, and may you have good health and success in your activities. May you all eventually attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Tomorrow we also have another Dhamma talk at 5 o'clock. You all can join. It's a different Zoom ID, which I will send you the details. If you don't get our messages, please send us a WhatsApp message or email. I will include you into the list to receive all the information. Thank you for joining. May you all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරුවනේ.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරනේ.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරනේ.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරුවනේ.
Bye.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරනේ.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි හාමුදුරනේ.
තෙරුවන් සරණයි.